Happiness is our basic nature. We becloud that basic nature with thoughts. Thoughts of lack, thoughts of want. When we want something, our mind becomes active in trying to acquire that. And we are unhappy because we lack something that we say we must have. So we create unhappiness through desire. All unhappiness starts with desire. All trouble in this universe starts with desire. Because basically we are perfect, full, complete, whole. We need nothing until we artificially create needs and then become unhappy thinking, how can we fulfill that need? All right, now after that artificial unhappiness is set into motion, we call happiness undoing the unhappiness. That's what people consider happiness today. Happiness is undoing the artificially created unhappiness. So we satisfy these thoughts of desire, and momentarily we still the thinking. And when we still the thinking, our natural infinite self is there all the time. And feeling that, we call that happiness. Happiness is nothing but feeling your real infinite self. That's all it is. Thoughts take you away from it. You undo the thoughts, you drop back to it. And that's called happiness. I know it was difficult for some who have not heard this before to get what I just said. Happiness is our basic nature. If we don't upset it, we are infinitely happy all the time. We have already upset it. We have created unhappiness. So that today we call happiness the undoing of the unhappiness, which is fulfilling desires which momentarily still the mind, and when the mind is still, we're in our natural state. And we say we are happy. I'll hit you on something that's kind of hard, free will. There is no such thing in life. Because life is already fully, how do you set up a computer? It's all set, programmed. What we call life today is a complete programming.
Excuse me.
I keep
Well,
going.
right then and now, well, what difference does it do what we do or what we try if it's all already programmed anyhow?
No difference except this. There is a free will.
You just said there was no such thing.
I said there's no such thing in life, in our livingness.
All right, but that's what we're most concerned with.
Well, if you're concerned with that, there is no free will.
Well, aren't we first concerned with our life and the life around us, the world around us, the world we live in, the life we're living?
If you want to be, yes.
Or what else is there?
There's a unlimited beingness, which is what we're really concerned with. If not consciously, unconsciously. We call it happiness.
In ourselves or what?
See, you're assuming something, and you want me to go along with you, that everyone is looking for happiness in this world. It's impossible to find complete happiness in this world. No one can ever find complete happiness in this world, in living this, because it isn't there. See, now you're assuming that it is there. I say, no, it isn't. I say the happiness that you're seeking is beyond the world of limitation. That life and livingness is all in the realm of limitation. You will never be happy fully until you are completely unlimited. Am I making some sense now? So what you want to find is your complete, unlimited beingness. And that's not in life and livingness, it's beyond that.
And there's no hope in this life? Is that what you're implying?
For total happiness is impossible in the livingness of life. However, at any moment, anyone can be completely happy if he will see what the happiness is. That it's not in being a limited body, but in being the unlimited self that we are. That is the happiness complete. We cannot be a limited body and be fully happy. It will never work out. You'll only be completely happy when you discover that you are unlimited. We're all looking for this freedom, this liberation.
It's not in things as we say them now. Or if I have a new dress, I'll be happy. Or if I go to the dance, I'll be happy. This is a fleeting thing. There's nothing that, because 2 minutes from now, we're there and we're unhappy. So it isn't in having the thing, but it's in the realization within ourselves. And I'm not going far enough. I know
that we are the all and need nothing.
Because we have everything.
Mm-hmm. So, yes.
If we got tonight, would we be satisfied to stay here and finish out the rest of our life and raise our kids, or would we finish out this life, or would we see it all in and want to leave?
If you did what?
If we became completely self-realized tonight, completely.
Yes.
Would we be content? Is a better word. To stay here and finish out the physical span of our life.
At first, you would be fully satisfied in everything.
Who are you looking at?
And
yeah, he doesn't have kids.
Yes.
You walk out the mall.
You would do the same thing that you would have done before you became fully realized. You would do the same thing. The difference would be your attitude toward everything. You would be extremely happy, unconcerned, no fear, and you would carry out just the same. The difference between a realized individual and a non-realized individual is basically this. An unrealized individual says, I am this body, subject to everything that this body is subject to. A realized individual says, I am this body, that body, all bodies. I am everything, therefore subject to nothing.
Well, I know that method yet, but I don't.
The body, to a realized person, the body is in me. To an unrealized person, he is in the body.
Wait, say that again.
A realized person will feel that the body is in him. An unrealized person feels that he is in the body. But to answer your first question, you would carry through just the same. Your attitude toward everything would be different. You'd be just drunk with happiness all the time and do the same things.
Carrying that through, since then, to consciously be aware of only good, our life would in substance be good.
You'd see everything is perfect.
That doesn't mean that your body evaporates or you scurry and hurry to another world. You live out your span here a fully realized person, but in a sense of omnipotence, omnipresent, fulfillment. You're fulfilled. But that doesn't mean that you're going to leave your body and rush off and have a conference with God.
That's what I was thinking of, those, right? When the dishes are full of sink, they're in the sink with the cans sliced and put in the side.
Just park your body at the curb and take off.
Well, I would think you'd be content here then. I would think you'd.
Well, you're right in thinking the way you want to think, but incorrect in what it would actually be. When you say, I would think this way, that's your right.
Franny,
I don't think that way. I said,
he's not.
you're fully satisfied. Realization is the fulfillment of all desire. But see, when you say, well, I think it would be this way, I have to grant you your right to think the way you want. The world doesn't disappear. It just looks very different to you.
You spoke of happiness. Can you talk about omnipresence?
That's spreading yourself.
Omnipresence is you wake up to the fact that you are everywhere present this moment, throughout infinity. In that body, in this body, in all bodies, in bodies throughout the universe. That you are present in every atom in this universe. But you have to see it. The absolute truth is there is an infinite singular oneness throughout. The final thing we see on this so-called path is there never was anything but I, all alone. That's the final thing we see. There never was anything but I, all alone. That appeared as many. It was an appearance. It wasn't real. Just like the moon on a placid lake is one. Disturb the lake and you'll see thousands of moons. The thousands is the illusion of many. Actually, there's only one behind it. So, the final thing we see is that there never was anything but I all alone. This whole universe was created by me. And was an illusion. That the reality behind that universe was real. That there never was anything but I. The universe doesn't look to a realized being the way it does to an unrealized being. A realized being sees a universal oneness throughout, which he calls his very own self. Or, if you want to use the word God, there's nothing but God. There's that one substance only, God. But to make it intimate, there never was anything but I all alone. The word I is the first word for God. Now that means I with nothing else connected. The moment we say, I am something, that's a limitation. Or I and something, that's duality. So the word I, we discover in the end to be this God we have been seeking. Just I. Only I is God. If we could be only I, we would be the God that we are. But we try to be something and impose limitation.
Knowing that all things come from one source, from the truth, or
From infinity.
from infinity, all right, from the I am. That all things are there. That's everything. We here are the orifice through which we look at the world. Or
The
limitation.
limitation.
The limitation. All right. I was trying to find out in my own mind why there's the Rockefeller and Carnegie's who can make all this money, and then there's the other end, the natives who feel they just exist. It boils down to again the mind, the justification. It's like a rationalization, isn't it?
Well, in
All supply is here, filtering through our mind. We get just exactly what we can justify. In other words, like a drawing.
what the mental image is comes out there. The Rockefellers have mental images of millions and billions. Most of us have it of hundreds of dollars.
And this is why I think you made sure, or at least I got it from you, that in reality, then if this being so, then the work that we do out here, just like beating the rug, this is a very weak rationalization for what in truth we get really by just a mental activity. We're making the body work for something that the mental activity is limiting to us, our return.
Yeah, this world is a rug and we're beating it. And some of us think the harder we beat it, the more we'll get out of that rug. Some think we don't have to beat it and it'll come out. The Rockefellers don't think they have to beat it so hard.
And then this then gets back, I remember Bob saying, well, how do you do without working? Well, then this, if we can expand this, our mind, this orifice, through which we get the goodies, then in truth, if we can justify it in our own mind, we can actually have it without working, without just the thought of it.
Yes, whatever the mind is absolutely convinced of is immediately. You can materialize gold with the absolute conviction that you can.
But there is no such thing as an absolute anything. And that explains why
Complete conviction.
Complete, whatever, and this to me explains why these things can't happen. Otherwise, this gentleman said, we wouldn't have to work for money if we wished for it hard enough. It would come to us anyhow.
Exactly as it does in dreams. Remember the dreams. That's the way it should be in this life too.
Of course, she's talking about her wishing. She's not talking about
it isn't because you think it isn't. See, in a dream, if you dreamt, I have to go to work to get some money to buy a coat, it would be that way in a dream. But in a dream world, you don't limit yourself so much. You want a coat, it's on you. That same thing could be done in this life too.
A couple weeks ago, we were discussing how people are seeking happiness in things, location, or people outside themselves. And the picture brought to mind of a little ass carrying a heavy load, and he wouldn't go. The dictionary said that they're a determined, patient little beast for domestic use, or not beast, but little animals for domestic use. So the picture came to mind of a fishing pole strapped across the little ass's back with a string on it and a carrot right in front of him. So the little ass pulls his heavy load to get the carrot, and it keeps eluding him. So on the carrot we painted happiness. And whenever you seek happiness in the form of things, then you're as silly as a little ass trying to catch a carrot.
Especially when it's strapped on your back in front of you.
It keeps moving out.
And it keeps going with you. The faster you go, the faster it's always out of reach.
It takes a heap of living to get to that point.
Well, I think we all start as
You got
assholes.
to climb up the steps slowly. It's just like,
Harry,
the guy that,
you're right if you think so.
well, it's like the guy that started out with a little car, it's all he could afford, then he could get the Cadillac. Now he get the Cadillac, he doesn't want it anymore, he wants a little car.
But a Rockefeller thinks Cadillac first.
He's a thumb.
You don't have to go up
Thumb fun.
step by step. Start at the top.
Got me tangled up.
Once you know how to do it, start at the top. If you dare. If you can create 1 penny, the method you use can create $1 million. The same method. It's up here. So
Well,
think big.